Warning! This video contains profanity. If you are a child, please turn off this video now. Hey guys, Gloria here, reporting from my bathtub. Before we begin, I want to let you know what this video is not about. This video is not about turning into an asshole who doesn't care about anything. It's also not about doing whatever the hell you want without taking responsibility. It's certainly not about ignoring other people's feelings. So what is this video about? Let me get out of my comfortable bath so that I can look a bit more serious. Now let me be serious with you for a second. I've been trying to avoid getting too serious because when I do, I get very intense. But since today's topic is about not giving a fuck, I really want to sit down and talk to you about this because I think it's very important. Caring too much about what other people think is a big problem for a lot of us. Just think about all the things you didn't do because you were afraid of what other people would think of you, or the things you do to impress or please other people. You know that classic saying? We spend the money we don't have to buy the things we don't need to impress the people we don't like. Sad? Yes, but unfortunately, it's very common nowadays. And I think what's more sad is the fact that a lot of us stop ourselves from going after what we really want for the fear of failing and looking stupid in front of other people. Or we might worry that our family and friends won't approve of what we do. And so we live our lives based on other people's expectations of us so that we can keep everyone else happy, except for ourselves. I would say growing up, I've been pretty good at not caring what other people think. I will always just do my own thing. But I too suffer from the symptoms of giving way too many fucks sometimes. Like making this video. I know it's an important subject that I really want to touch on, but in the back of my mind, I catch myself thinking, what if no one cares? What if people get the wrong message? What if I say fuck too many times? Why are we like this? Why do we care about people's opinions so much? Well, it's actually completely normal. Human beings were wired to be herd animals because we used to live in tribes. If our ancestors didn't get along with the tribe, they would get kicked out and they would literally die on their own. In other words, we are the offspring of those who had to learn how to get along in tribes in order to survive. But the good news is, we don't live in tribes anymore. Our survival no longer depends on how well we blend in with everyone. In fact, if we want to stay true to ourselves and do something exceptional and make a difference, we simply can't give our fucks to everything and everyone, like it's free candy or something. So how do we stop giving a fuck? The truth is, I don't think there's any quick tips and tricks to it. I can tell you things like, oh, just don't care about what other people think, or you do you, blah blah blah. But it doesn't solve the problem fundamentally. I think not giving a fuck is a state of being that requires you to look inward and make some important changes in your mindset. The truth is, we all care about something. If you don't care about anything at all, you're either a coward who's too afraid to care, or you're a sociopath. But what we choose to care about makes all the difference. I remember reading Mark Manson's book, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck, a long time ago, and one of the concepts really struck me. He says, the key to a good life is not giving a fuck about more, it's giving a fuck about less, giving a fuck about only what is true and immediate and important. And I recently just finished Greg McKeown's book, Essentialism, and it actually emphasizes on a very similar concept, which is focusing only on what's the most essential to you and eliminating everything else. Well, Greg McKeown was obviously a lot more polite about it. Anyways, the point is, if you want to stop caring about all the trivial things that don't really matter, you need to identify the few vital things that you truly care about. To quote Mark Manson again, because I love how vulgar he is, if you find yourself consistently giving too many fucks about trivial shit that bothers you, chances are you don't have much going on in your life to give a legitimate fuck about. Ouch, but I think that's pretty spot on. Now the question is, how do we figure out what are the most important things for us so that we can give all our attention to those and not all the other trivial things that don't deserve our attention? Now here's the truth. We won't know what are the most important things for us if we don't know what our values are. According to Physiopedia, personal values are defined as broad desirable goals that motivate people's actions and serve as guiding principles in their lives. If you search online, there will be lots of resources providing you lists of values to get you started. I tried doing that 3 years ago and picked my 5 core values. My values at the time were success, dependability, happiness, freedom, and grace. Now, most of my values remain the same. I hold freedom and dependability very dear to my heart, but some have changed. For example, I no longer believe in happiness. I'm not trying to be cynical or something, but I think trying to be happy all the time is the problem of our unhappiness because no one is happy all the freaking time. There are ups and downs in life. If I were to replace this value now, I would say inner peace is what I'm looking for. There's also a difference between the values you wish you have and the values you actually have, and it's usually proven by your actions. For example, I could say I value grace, but if I say fuck so many times in my video, do I actually value grace? I'm not trying to judge myself for it. I'm just starting to question whether grace is actually my core value. Maybe I value being true to myself over being graceful. There's also good values and bad values. And I'm not gonna try to be politically correct here and say, oh, there's no absolute good or bad. If you're willing to step on someone to achieve your success, that's a bad value. You're an asshole, period. Success in itself is not a bad thing. But if you don't have good values like conscience and empathy to go with it, it could cause a lot of suffering for others and for yourself. So take some time to think about what you value above everything else, because your values guide you in the way you think and everything you do, and ultimately how your life turns out. People are quick to tell you what you should or should not be doing, but once you know your values, it'll be harder for people to sway you and pull you off your essential path. Values do change as you gain more life experience, so you need to revisit them from time to time. And that's probably what I need to do now. Is this getting a bit too heavy? Well, I told you I could get very intense. The irony is, in order to truly not give a fuck about what other people think of you, you need to give a fuck about something bigger than yourself. It could be a cause, it could be someone you really care about, or it could be a goal you want to achieve. Let's say you've identified that success is important to you. But if your focus is on how other people would look at you once you become successful, then you're focusing on yourself again. And naturally, you will care about what other people think of you. But if the reason you want to achieve that goal is because you really care about a cause and want to make a contribution, then you won't care about what other people think of you. You're gonna do it despite what they think because you believe in it. It's that important to you. It's bigger than you. I know not everyone's trying to change the world or something, but focusing on something bigger than yourself will help you gain a broader perspective in life instead of seeing the world through a microscope. That's why I said there are no quick fixes. It takes time to figure these things out. With that being said, this is something that I need to work on as well. I'm by no means there yet. I still have a long way to go. The ultimate goal for me is to reevaluate my core values and from there figure out how I can make my highest form of contribution. And to be honest with you, I think this is probably why I don't care about most things, because there's this one big important thing that's been on my mind. And you know what? I think I need to take some time off to seriously think about this. This has to be dramatic because I'm a dramatic person. If you're looking for me, I'll be in the woods somewhere.